All right, guys, in this lesson, we're going to learn how to convert between radians and degrees. So, first of all, a radian is a different type of measurement of a degree measure, okay? So, for instance, if we look at a circle, let's actually do this a little bit better. Let's look at a circle here. We'll actually look at two circles, okay? We will call this one, let's just see if we can't set this up real quick. And so let's set up a circle. We talked about this earlier, but let's take a look at what radians even mean, okay? Okay, this circle is not the best, but you get the idea, hopefully. Anyway, so if we remember from what a unit circle is, this is 0 degrees. And then as we move forward this way, the degrees start getting more positive. As soon as we hit this angle right here, we'll hit, this is a 90-degree angle from there. As we keep going along, this is 180 degrees. And as we keep going along, this is 270 degrees. And as soon as we get back to 0, we have done a full circle, which is 360 degrees. Okay? So if I wanted to relate that to what, so this is in degrees, and another type of measurement is called radians, where you use pi in your answer. All right, so this one is still 0, and then as we move forward over here, this is pi over 2 radians. And as we move along, this is pi radians, so pi and 180 correspond to the same angle. As we keep going, this is going to be 3 pi over 2. And finally, 2 pi would be a full circle. Okay, let's take a couple of examples here and kind of maybe figure out what we can do here to convert between radians and degrees. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's a couple of examples. So convert between. If I wanted to convert between degrees, so start with degrees, and then convert to radians, I'm going to have to multiply. So you multiply by pi over 180. That's how you would convert from degrees into radians. All right, so there's our first rule for the day. If I want to convert between, start with radians and convert that into a degree measure, you would multiply. In fact, it's going to be by the reciprocal of that. Okay. Now, one thing that kind of helps me, so let's just say that. Let's just start with this one. So let's say convert to degrees. All right, we'll convert, we'll just say 160 degrees. Oh, no, sorry. We're going to convert radians. So let's convert to degrees. We're going to start with 2 pi over 3. We're going to convert, this is radians. And we want to know what's the degree measure. One way that I can kind of remember what to multiply by is I know that in degree, which is what we're seeking, we're trying to get into degrees, I know that pi is going to be gone. I can't have a degree, a measure in degrees with pi in my answer. So what that means is pi is going to have to cancel out. All right, so the pi's are going to have to cancel out. So that means that pi is going, if this pi is on top, that means this pi has to be on bottom in order for me to cancel out that pi. So I know that pi should be on bottom, not on top, because they have to cancel, because degrees don't have pi's in them. All right, so this is going to cancel out the pi's here. I'm going to multiply the two top ones. That's going to give me 360 divided by 3. And so the angle measure of 2 pi over 3 is 120 degrees. That's my answer, 120 degrees. Okay, let's do another one. Convert let's go 5 pi over 6 into degrees. Okay, again, degrees, that has no pi in it. Has no pi in the answer. But we start off with a pi. So I know that the pi's are going to have to cancel out so that I just have degrees. The 5 pi over 6, the pi is on top. And so you're going to have to put the pi on bottom. You're going to have to put the pi on bottom so that it cancels with that other pi on top that we started with. So I know that if I'm looking at these two things, these two rules, I'm going to have to multiply by the one with the pi on bottom. That's how I kind of keep those things straight in my head. Anyway, so that's going to cancel out. And then we have 5 times, well, let's see. We could probably do this. We can cross this out and call this a 1, and cross that out and call that a 30, because you can divide 180 by 6. And so we're going to get 5 times 30 now. So the 5 pi over 6 converts to 150 degrees. Okay. Now let's go the other way. Let's convert 175 into radians. Okay. So again, I know radians does have pi in my answer. So this has pi in answer. However, I don't start with the pi. So therefore, I know that pi is going to have to be on top when I multiply so that I'm left with a pi in my answer. So I know that we're going to have to multiply by pi over 180. I hope that makes sense. If not, I guess that's okay. You could just come back to here and just kind of write those down and have those, as notes as you're doing this. But anyway, so one thing that the Khan Academy in Practice is going to want you to do is simplify both of these, okay? So get a calculator out. These are both divisible by 5. And if you divide them both by 5, you're going to get 175 divided by 5 is 35. So you can get 35 pi. And 180 divided by 5 is 36. So 175 degrees is 35 pi over 36 radians. And this would be my answer for that problem. Let's just do one more. Let's convert 190 into radians. Okay, again, I know that radians has pi in my answer. And so I'm going to have to multiply so that pi remains. Okay, and so I know that pi is going to be on top on this one. And so if we multiply that through, we're going to get 190 pi over 180. And then we're going to divide these both by 5. Well, from the last problem we just did, I know that 180 divided by 5 was 36. So I know my bottom number is going to be 36. And on top, I'm going to get 38 pi. Well, I can keep going. I can still divide those by 2. This is going to be 19 pi over, and 36 divided by 2 is 18. I'm just simplifying there, just reducing your fraction. And so 19 pi over 18 equates to 190 degrees on the unit circle. Okay, all you need to know really is these two things, and just look and see what they're asking you to do. Use this one to convert to degrees, use this one to convert to radians, and that's all you've got for this con practice. So good luck, hope this helps, and again, if you have any questions, let me know.